I can't wait to dive into it. But before we do that, I would love to know I was telling everyone before you joined, you're so multi talented. Obviously, you're a singer, dancer, actress, truly a triple threat when they talk about that. Do you remember which kind of form of storytelling you first fell in love with?
Yes, I first started dancing around 8 years old, and I absolutely loved it. I breathed and slept dance basically. And then when I was around 12, that's when I started transitioning to acting. And then I first started singing when I was doing high school, and I started training for that. But I love all of them so much, and I definitely think acting is like where my heart resides right now. But I'm thankful for all of them, and I'm glad that I'm able to kind of switch back and forth because it makes it all so much more interesting.
Oh, absolutely. Do you remember? This is a hard question. Do you remember the first song that you danced to where you felt kind of that aha moment of like, I'm telling a story with my body, like this is more than just movement?
Oh yes. Oh, that's a great question. It was the first competition season I ever did, and I had a solo, and it was to the song called Landfill. And I remember, like, I was always very praised for my emotion, those things. So I didn't have the technique, I didn't have really the skill yet because I was still so new. But I really leaned into the emotion of it all, acting side of it, which I guess really time. But I remember at that first competition afterwards, like, got a lot of great feedback. Like, wow, like you're, 8 years old, but you have a lot of emotion and depth. And uh, that's when I think I realized I was like, oh, this isn't just about being the most technical dancer or being experienced. It can really just be about connecting with the people who are watching you.
100%. 100%. I grew up, dancing was the first thing I did as a kid. And I remember the same thing. Like, I wasn't a very good jumper. Uh-oh, did I lose you? Okay, I wasn't a very good jumper. I knew what I wasn't great at, but I found myself through kind of my love for the emotions of telling the story through the movement. And it's really special. And this is why the arts matter.
They really do. So many people I know love the arts but kind of give up on them because they believe it's not like a realistic career path. But I think if you love something and you pursue it enough and consistently, you can do anything, truly.
Absolutely. All right, let's get into it. The School for Good and Evil. You play Agatha. Can you describe her for us, please?
Agatha is very brutish and grumpy and very real. Like, she is definitely not an optimist. Much more of a pessimist, if I would say. But she has a good heart, and I think she is able to bring a lot of realness to the movie, where a lot of these fairy tale storylines are so fluffy, and she kind of has the perspective of the audience, where she will call out a moment where she's like, what is this, why are you doing this, why are you acting this way? And it gives a voice to the audience where normally the audience just has to scream at the screen. So it's very nice to be that voice for people, and play a character that's so different than myself, but also I can relate to in so many ways as well.
I love that. Oh, that's great. I mean, what did being in this movie, working on this movie alongside such an inspiring ensemble cast? I mean, Kerry Washington, Charlize Theron. Like, tell me what you learned most about yourself, maybe personally or professionally. Like, what did you take away from this experience?
Ooh, I mean, I was so excited to work with everyone you just mentioned. Like, they're all such legendary actors who I've grown up watching. So it was honestly quite entering a set where I'm like, they've all been doing this for longer than I've been alive, and they're so good at this, and I hope I can live up to them. But when I realized that I don't need to
Hmm.
Washington, because there's no way I can possibly be that yet. So I just had to be the best version of myself at this moment in time. but I also learned a lot just through observation, seeing how they held themselves on set, as well as the choices that they would make while it was just like a full-on master class every day of just observing what a true professional A-list actor does,
Mm.
getting to take bits and pieces of those things I really liked and trying to incorporate them into my career and the way I work on set.
Oh, what a gift. What a gift. Also, it's like Kerry Washington, yes, she's an icon, a legend, but she was a young actress once too. And I feel like she's such a champion for new voices and refreshing voices. And yeah, what a gift. And you, I mean, you were just like, you look like you've been doing it forever as well. You're incredible.
Thank you so much. That's very
Um, Without giving too much away, because I, it hasn't come out yet. These lives are always a little tricky when it hasn't come out because you and I know what's up, but like we can't spoil it.
yeah.
But what do you hope audiences, especially young women, everybody, but especially young women, kind of walk away learning about the power of friendship and sisterhood in a sense from this film?
Oh, that is a wonderful question. I think, as we've seen in many traditional fairy tale stories, it's always the prince who is the princess. And in this movie, without giving anything away, it's not about that. And I think it's so refreshing to see a story that is more about sisterhood and friendship than romantic relationship, because that can be suffocating in a world where not everyone is focused on a romantic relationship. I know
Yeah.
growing up, I always felt kind of outcasted because I wasn't, fawning over boys every day. That wasn't the first thing on my mind, and definitely wasn't the last. And I was much more focused on, my friend, my sister specifically, and because she's my best friend. And so getting to play a movie or play that represents that type of bond in a movie, and that represents for other young boys and girls there, and show that friendship should be uh, should be protected.
Mm.
The most important thing in life isn't always the love you have for a romantic partner, but it can be the love you have for a family member or a friend.
Absolutely. And I think too, it's like, gosh, I look back on my youth, like when I was younger, and how much energy I wasted. Like, again, like I felt the same way. I always felt like something was wrong with me that I wasn't. Like, yeah, I had crushes and things like that, but I was like, well, why am I not gravitating, like needing to be in a relationship or wanting to necessarily be in a relationship? And as you get older, I think you realize that like your friendships are also the loves of your lives. Like you have multiple loves of your lives. Like, yes, romantic love is beautiful. I'm married. I love my husband. Like he's great. However, we have multiple loves of our lives. And they're all equally important because they make up who we are, right? We're like multifaceted people who need those different types of relationships in our life. And I loved that theme I loved that about this film. I think it's so important. It excites me about the future of storytelling, and it's really exciting.
Yeah, oh, I agree. And I don't know about you, but a lot of my friendships have lasted way longer than my relationships have. So I'm like, of course, I need to put more energy and love and into these friendships that I know are going to be longer lasting than relationships are. Kind of, as a teenager at least, or a young adult, they fizzle out so quick. So I'd much rather definitely give my love to those who I know will be around for a while.
Yeah, and they're just important relationships, and they will, obviously, like the goal is to find a partner in this life who you can share everything with and you feel supported and loved, and that is the goal, and that's what you want in that. But there's nothing better than sort of like turning to a girlfriend in sort of your darkest hour or happiest hour and sharing that moment and like going through this crazy thing we call life together. I mean, it's really special.
I
Well,
think
go ahead.
I think one of my castmates, Sailor, on live because I'm seeing so many comments about Sailor. I don't know if she's still on, but hi, Sailor. Speaking of friends and loving friends, Sailor, you're literally the best ever. Oh, she's really so amazing.
Oh, I love that. Well, like so, and, you know, let's like keeping up with honoring and supporting and loving on each other as you know women, especially in this crazy industry, right? It gets all crazy. Um, who's who's inspired? I mean, I'm sure there's so many people, but you know, what's next? Like, who do you want to collaborate with next? Like, what person in this industry, either in front or behind the camera, is really inspiring you that you want to have that experience with them? You want to, you know, get in on the magic they're creating.
Ooh, oh, that's a great question. So many wonderful female filmmakers that I would love to work with, like Greta Gerwig being one of. I also like. I have such a celebrity crush on Florence Pugh. I've been watching every single thing she's come out with ever, and she is just so captivating on screen. She can play such a wide emotions that I think I definitely would love to work with her one day, but also just I just would love to keep watching her. Like I don't know if that's just on my screen or in person, but I really, really love her work, and I think it's so powerful. So there's so many wonderful people out there and actors that I love, and I'm just really happy that I'm able to be in a field of work where there's so much inspiration,
Yeah.
so many people that I can, be inspired by, and not necessarily try to mimic, but try to learn from and
Mhm.
through.
Absolutely, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. It's like it's such an exciting time in in the industry where I'm, you know, I can count on more than just one hand how many sort of female-led films or TV series have come out this year that I'm obsessed with that have inspired me, and the fact that there's multiple of those stories being told. There still needs to be more. There'll never be enough. Like we have so much work to do, but it makes me very hopeful, and I'm so happy for the way that the you know what our future looks like. I think in this industry, and that's thanks to amazing performers like yourself as well, giving us amazing content. We love it. This has been so fun. I could chat with you for hours, but I know you're busy. Last question. The costumes in this film are insanely cool. They are fabulous. They are decadent. I feel like we're going to see some Halloween inspired costumes this year.
I hope so. Yeah, no, they're literally. Sorry, I didn't know. Is that the end of your question? Should I?
Oh no, I was just gonna. I mean, I wanted to. It's a two-parter. One, I would love to know how sort of stepping into these beautiful, larger than life costumes even brought the character more to life. And then also, I'd love to know some of your favorite go-to like Halloween costumes from film and TV.
Ooh, yes. Well, yes, I really do hope that that people dress up as Agatha and Sophie or any characters in the movie during the Halloween or the next Halloween. And it's great that it's coming out right before Halloween because it gives people the chance.
Yeah, they got all time. They can get
Yeah,
their costume together.
they do. But I remember this one day, I think it was during pre-production, where I'm doing all these wardrobe fittings for the movie, and this is my first time really like stepping into Agatha physically. And I look to the head of wardrobe, and I say to her, I'm like, "Man, I don't know how I'm about to do this movie because I love these dresses, and my character has to hate them. Like I am such a lover of pinks and frilliness and dresses and skirts and heels, and my character is the exact opposite, especially in the beginning of the movie.
Mhm.
Very challenging, but it was really exciting when I got to dress up as Agatha, more so towards the beginning of the movie where she's kind of more disheveled and grungy. She's in her village, and I had like this huge hair on me. It was a wig, and it definitely allowed me to feel like I was stepping person rather than playing a different version of myself.
Yeah.
And then, oh yes, my favorite. Goodness. Oh, I don't even know. I mean, my friends and I, my castmates and I, are planning on doing a Halloween party during Halloween this year, and we have a specific theme that we're going to do. But I think it's always fun when there is like a movie or a genre that is so animated, externally, that you can be that character. And so I don't want to give away our theme yet because I know we're probably going to post some stuff, and it should be a surprise. But just the specific like theme that we're going for are from these wide ranges of movies that have so visually recognizable. And I hope that this film can be that for people, because I think a lot of our characters are very specific in the way that they look, the way that their costumes are. Yeah, I love a good fashion moment.
Yes, me too. Me too. And I think that, yeah, I agree. I love when like a Halloween party has a theme where you don't feel necessarily like stuck doing like from one movie or one, TV series, but you have kind of like, the freedom to kind of play, whether it's like a sci-fi theme or like a 60s theme or whatever it is. There's so much to play with. But I agree. I think like I think we're gonna see a lot of Agathas this year. I can't wait. Because it's like it's epic. Like, and also like you said, her transformation into like I love that. I love that. Putting on the costume for you was a different experience than you knew your character was having, and sort of working through that. That is very cool. That's yeah. But anyway, Sophia, you're so lovely. So lovely. Thank you so much for joining me today. What a treat.
Yes, thank you for having me. This is so lovely to talk to you.
Oh my gosh. Well, congratulations again. Celebrate yourself this week. The film is incredible. It comes out August. Oh my gosh, October.
Yes, October.
October, everybody. August happened. We're in October. October 19th on Netflix, The School for Good and Evil. Thank you so much. People are like, bye.
Thank you. So yes, wait for you all to see the movie. Enjoy it.
Yeah, so good. Y'all are gonna love it. Be obsessed. Gonna be obsessed. All right. Thank you so much. Have a lovely rest of your day.
You too. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.